Hi guys, and thank you for joining me. Now, we're going to talk about a topic that is quite controversial in tarot, and that is reversals. Reversals are when a deck is shuffled with both upright and reversed cards. Now, some readers read this way, other readers will not, and there's a few reasons behind that. I'm not going to cover all reasons why today. I'm just going to give you guys an empirical approach, a scientific approach, why I don't stand behind reversals. Having said that, I'm not a creature of habit, so that means that I could very well do reversals soon, in particular using round decks, which I do like. But let's stick to the point at hand. So sometimes people ask me what I think about reversals, and my general topic is my general idea or suggestion is that reversals are put too much negativity into the reading, and so other readers will say, well, no, actually it's fine, and it gives you a more whole perspective. So I always had the sense that there was a lot of negativity when you put in reverse cards. So there's more negative permutations, instances than positive ones. So basically I did some math, and so hold on, I just reversed half the deck. Speaking of not doing it. Anyway, so I did some math and I figured it out, and I wanted to share my findings with you. So let's begin. I'll pick a nice bright color and take a look at everything. So the higher arcana has 22 cards, right? So when you're reading upright only, you have 16 cards with positive definitions. Now, before I get into this in any more detail, let me just say that I really encourage people to have their own definitions with tarot card reading. I encourage people to have their personal relationship with tarot cards. So what definitions I used were standard Rider-Waite definitions, and I looked over several different types of definitions, like from the Toth school as well, to give it more of a balanced perspective. So I tried to give my semi-expert opinion. I've been doing this for 20 years. Semi-expert opinion or judgment based on that. So I tried to tend towards not my perception of the card so much, except in certain cards when I really felt strongly about it, but more so the general description. So the higher arcana has 16 positive cards. 4 would I classify as neutral, neutral being that they have positive and negative meanings or connotations, and 2 negative. Now, of course, there are schools of thought that say that each upright and reversal have both, and you can actually read more expansively, but the traditional kind of meanings are such where these cards. So altogether we have 22 cards, right? And so the wand suit has 12 positive cards and 2 negative cards. So meanings, cards that have negative meanings. Swords in the upright position have 6 positive, 3 neutral, so that means cards that have both positive and negative meanings, and 5 negative. So we have 14 cards here. Pretty much all the court cards follow a standard rule. So they're all 4 positive, 4 negative, right? So 4 cards upright are positive, 4 cards reverse are negative. Although there is some variation, particularly in the disc suit. So water. We have 10 positive, and we have 2 neutral and 2 negative, which equals 14. And then coins or discs, we have 9 positive and 4 neutral and 1 negative, which is about 14. Okay? So that's the upright variation of this. Now when we switch to the reversed position, well, I'll show you guys the difference. So different color, reversed. So we have the arcana, it has 3 neutral and 19 negative meanings. I guess that's a little confusing. The wand suit has 14 negative meanings. The water suit has, or we can say rods here, 12 negative meanings and 2 neutral meanings. Coins has 14 negative meanings. So I guess you guys are starting to see the pattern. And then swords, we have of course 14 negative. Because the sword suit is traditionally, I'll do a separate video on this, traditionally the sword suit has very negative associations with regards to that. So you can see that in the positive end of things, we have a nice divide between positive and negative, and in the negative there's an overwhelming number of negative cards interpreted. And so it's important to remember that, you know, life tends towards, in my opinion anyway, life tends towards the positive. Life grows, nature grows, and it's the sacred geometry of life that everything kind of grows and expands rather than falls in on itself, or it may be towards neutral as it expands and decays. So I hope you guys can see the split this way. Now let's break it down a little bit. Okay, so to look at it a different way, when we have it in the upright, 53 out of 78 cards have positive meanings. 13 out of 78 cards have neutral meanings or have both positive and negative connotations. And 12 out of 78 cards have typically negative meanings. Now when we reverse that and we use reversal alone, which we don't read like that except shadow readings, 73 out of 78 cards have negative meanings, and 5 out of 78 cards have neutral or positive and negative meanings. So to sum it all up, you kind of have to do a little bit of math. So for when you're reading actual reversals in a reading, you want to add both you have to add the amount of instances it could occur in a positive reading, and then also the reversal, and then divide that by 2, and then you have a sum meaning, or you can have a total reading. And so when you're reading with reversals, you have to consider these both permutations, which is upright and reversal. So in the end, for reversal reading, we have 53 out of 156 cards, remember both upright and reversal, that take on a positive meaning. And for the neutral, we have 18 out of 156 that have neutral, that means both positive and negative. And then when you're considering negative meanings, you have 18 again out of 156. Oh, sorry, 85 out of 156, which is negative. So you can see already that the numbers show that there's more negative meanings than positive meanings in a reversal reading. So these numbers can kind of show you exactly what you're looking at when you're doing a reading, what to expect, what are the chances of getting a specific card vis-a-vis the other cards. So the reversals alone have way more negative meanings than the upright. And so when you add it all together, we have a skew towards the negative in the readings. Now that looks a little bit different when we're showing graphically, and I always like to take a look at things in a graph or like a visual representation. So let's make a chart. Okay, so let's pick a color. Let's pick blue for negative. So in a regular just upright reading, about 15%, so negative is blue, 15%, 4% is negative, 15.4. And then the neutral, which we can do in pink, about 16.6, neutral, 16.6% of the cards take on a neutral meaning, which means both positive and negative. That means that the positive meaning of the cards take on about 67.9%. Whoa. So this would all be 67.9%. Okay, so this is when you're doing upright only. So when you're doing reversal, here are the numbers. The negative ends up being about 54.5%. So that's just over half of the cards that can come up are negative. And the neutral is about 11.5. So that's both positive and negative. 0.5. Neutral. 11.5% of the time. That means that positive meanings only account for about 33.9%. So the question ends up being, what is your worldview? How do you perceive the world? Do you perceive the world as having a skew towards the negative or towards the positive? And I would feel more comfortable reading just upright, where 67.9% of the cards represent positive experiences, 16.6 represent neutral experiences, and 15.4 represent challenges or difficult experiences. So when we're reading reversals, we're getting way more options for negative interpretation than anything else. I hope this kind of gives you guys a good overview. I hope it gives you some food for thought, and I hope it gives you some perspective. Now, if you want to read your reversals, by all means go ahead. And there's very good interpretation that can come from reading reversals. But I'd like to suggest that the upright reading could be just as good, or if not better, than reading reversals. Thanks very much for joining me today. I hope you enjoyed this video. Make sure to give it a thumbs up, share, subscribe with your friends. Take care, guys. Bye.